Como are now officially promoted to the Italian Serie A, becoming the second team out of Serie B after Parma to make it to the Italian top division next season. Como are a special team located in one of the most beautiful areas of northern Italy, right on Lake Como. Last time the club participated in Serie A was back in 2003, and after that the team has experienced 3 consecutive relegations and even went bankrupt. Today we take charge of Como as they move back into Italian football's top flight using an updated database. So guys, here we are using the updated database. We are picking things up right here, right now. As I said in the intro, Parma went up top in this division. Como up in second. You absolutely love to see it. There's some playoff action going on there because we can't determine the playoffs. There was no point in coming in after this. But this is how we are going to be set up going into Italian football's top flight. It's going to be a big step up. I am no Cesc Fabregas, so we are going to have to see what we can actually do at this team. We have no money. That might kick in a little bit further down the line, maybe once we get into June, but at the moment it seems like we have no money. We do have no debt though, so that is a positive. Any money that we do make on transfers could be used to bolster our additional squad members. And if we have a look at the current ability of some of these players in the squad, this is our best player according to my assistant manager Jean-Pierre Nisame. Looks very good. And if you've watched Premier League football, you will know of this guy, Patrick from Wolves. He's been there. He is again one of the forwards that we are going to have to hang our hat on. He is currently wanted by Lecce in this database, so it's going to be interesting to see how he gets on after having his first season back at, or second season back at Como. He is only 26 years of age. It'd be interesting to see if we could get him into the Italian setup during this. And we also have this guy I want to call out, Simon Verdi. Looks again very good. 17 free kick taken, but this guy is on the older side of things at 31 years of age. Older side of things. He's still younger than me. Sad. Obviously, we're going to try and get some business done over the summer if we possibly can. The transfer window is enabled, so I'll be back at the start of season 1 to see if we have been able to make any moves. So guys, here we are starting off transfer update for season number 1. Going into things, we have had a couple of players leave us as well. Looking at this, we have this guy leaving, Motir Shalja is probably how I'm going to butcher this guy's name, playing on the left hand side as his natural position or in the cam spot. You will see why in a second because we are going to be running a narrow formation. He's gone to Palermo for 725k, and we also sold this man as well, Alessio. He has departed as well for 190k. We've also got a loan fee coming in for one of our strikers as well, which is interesting. The game said he was one of the best at the club, but obviously as a poacher is his role. We're not running a poacher, so he has departed to Frosinone for 500k for the loan fee. Now, we have made one signing. Gabriel Strefeza has come in to be our new central attacking midfielder. I wanted someone quick, I wanted someone agile with flair to fit in that position, and I know what you're thinking, Steve. You said you're not running wingers. We're not. We're going to retrain him to play in this cam spot. He's competent here, and hopefully by the end of the season, he will be able to make that step up. Now, let's talk about the tactic first and foremost, because this is what we are going to be running. GYR's Peacemaker. I haven't used this in a rebuild yet, so really looking forward to seeing how this one does over 5 years. It is a 4-1-2-1-2, a narrow diamond with 2 strikers up front, and Strefeza is going to go into this advanced playmaker role here to kind of cause all the damage. If we quick pick without restriction the remaining positions, this is how we are set up, ladies and gentlemen. So no massive impacts to the team in terms of personnel that they had in Serie B last season. Cutrone and Verdi are going to be the dual punch up top, the Italian tag team that I'm looking forward to hoping to take into the Serie A this season. So again, no major changes to this team. That will of course change over time. Competitions wise, we have just 2 competitions that we have to worry about this season. The Coppa Italia, which is the first fixture we have is a Coppa Italia fixture, and then we will take on the Serie A. Now, obviously, Inter won this in our simulation. There we go. And then we have Como predicted to finish stone dead last. 1,000 to 1. Venezia came up as well alongside Parma. Both those teams have better odds than us, so we are going to have our work cut out for us this season. But all we need to do is avoid relegation and stay in Italy's top flight. Let's see if we can do it. We opened up our campaign with the Coppa Italia, where I faced lower league Spezia at home in the first round. This one was pretty straightforward, with us scoring twice in the first half, resulting in a 2-1 win on the day and progressing into the second round. Here we came up against lower league opposition again, this time in the face of relegated side Salernitana. But despite being in the game, we couldn't find the breakthrough, with Salernitana scoring twice in the first half to end our cup dreams so far for this season. But ultimately, this campaign for me was all about survival in the Serie A, and I definitely think we punched above our weight this time out. We started our season very well with a win on the road against Venezia and continued to look solid in our opening 5 games, picking up points in 4 of them. Looking at our schedule, you can see lots of defeats, but we actually picked up more wins this season than I was expecting. And this was largely down to the performances of Simone Verde, who still looks like the best player in this team and gave us a return of 14 goals and 10 assists in Serie A this season. However, he has said that he doesn't want to sign a new deal at the club, so that could cause me some problems. I'm not going to lie to you, our second half of the season was rough, and we suffered multiple defeats with the odd draw sprinkled in there. But in the final 2 months of the season, we managed to pick up the pace a little bit, securing 11 points from 24 available in April and May to push us up the table a fair bit. Those results helped us achieve a 12th place finish in Serie A with a total of 40 points. Now, we did have a minus 14 goal difference and we did lose 18 games, but I think this is something Como supporters would take in real life next year. We have had some money trickle into our account, but I know Serie A isn't exactly flush with cash, so we have just over £8 million to spend this summer. So I think we're going to have to make a few player sales to really make some moves in this window. Okay guys, so we've been active in the transfer market going into season number 2. Not too many on the outgoings, only 275k made. We've picked up a couple of players on free transfers, and then we've shifted a little bit of cash to bring in 3 big names, in my opinion, for this team. So first off, we signed Koulibaly. He comes in here to be a great option for us in both fullback positions. Versatility is such a good attribute to have. The fact that he's a natural in both left and right back positions is great for me. He came in from Parma for a free transfer. We also signed Jose Cordoba on a free transfer as well. He's coming from Lefty Sofia. He has 15 pace, 16 strength, good teamwork and positioning for a centre half. He's left-footed as well, so finding a good left-footed centre back is really interesting to find. And he's also a Panama international, so he's playing international football, 6'2", 24 years of age. Very good pickup on a free transfer. Now let's talk about the money that we spent. £5.75 million was spent on this man, Lorenzo Colombo from AC Milan. He's 23 years of age. He's got a hat full of caps for the Italian under-21s, and he is hopefully going to be our star man in front of goal this season. Breakout year hopefully for him, and attribute wise for a centre forward, he looks very good. Again, strong on that left foot, and with the 2 strikers up front, having someone who's good on their left foot is going to be crucial for us. Matteo Peratti comes in from Cagliari for the same fee as well to play in midfield. Looks very well rounded, nothing massively stand out about him, but is a very good player nonetheless. 21 years of age, caps for Italy's under-21s as well. As I said, he come in for 5.75 million. These fees could and probably will increase. There are additional add-ons in their contracts as well. And the last one is Sharon Dor. He comes in from PSG. This guy never plays for PSG. Can play in the central midfield spot, can play in the cam spot. Again, that versatility being really key for us. If you watch my Versailles save that I did last year, this guy was superb in that. So first opportunity to bring him in this save in a team for Italy is the way to do it. If we go into the tactic, guys, and we quick pick without restriction the best 11, I'm not going to mess around with too much stuff. Obviously, Stravezza is now a natural at that attacking midfielder position, but if my assistant manager wants to drop Verdi in there because he's getting a little bit older and let Cutrone and Colombo do all the running up front, I'm actually fine with it. So I'm just going to leave things as they are. Obviously, Koulibaly comes in, Cordoba comes in, Priati comes in, and Colombo comes in. So definite impact into our starting 11. Defensively, I think we've improved massively as well. And obviously, we do have that sharper edge up top with Colombo as well. Competitions-wise, we still do have the same 2 as last season, the Coppa Italia and the Serie A. And I'm sure you're thinking, Steve, have your odds improved in the Serie A? Yes, they have. We are being backed a little bit more. We were 1,000 to 1 last year. We are now 450 to 1. So the odds of over halved, which is really, really cool. Two of the promoted sides, Palermo and Salernitana, do have better odds. We will hopefully try and punch above our weight. And you may have also just noticed, this is really interesting, Will Still is now the new Napoli manager. So we've got an interesting setup here over in Italy. Let's see what we can do in season number 2. Just like last season, we opened our campaign with the Coppa Italia and booked our place in the second round with a comfortable 4-0 win against lower league opposition. Once the season had advanced into December, we had the second round where we were again handing out a hammering, this time dominating Venezia 5-0 at home. So we moved into the third round where we faced Bologna, and sadly this is where our journey came to an end thanks to a 93rd minute goal from Fedor Shalov. And to be fair, we didn't really deserve anything in that game, but I did want to make some strides forward in the Serie A. We started the campaign remarkably well with a 9-0 victory against Venezia, but actually followed that up with other impressive results against the likes of Udinese, Atalanta and Inter Milan. When you actually look at our results, you can see that we made huge strides in the league this year. This was largely down to summer signing Lorenzo Colombo, who integrated into the team well and provided 26 goals in all competitions in his debut season. He is now wanted by Al Ahly in Saudi Arabia and is valued at over 20 million. And then moving into 2026, we did really fall apart, suffering a long stretch of defeats, which actually included a run of 8 consecutive losses in Serie A. However, our early season form was enough to save us from suffering a relegation battle and actually saw us finish the season in 10th place. But when you look at the past positions we had in the league, we really did let things slip as we were up in second going into January. This season is still an improvement on last year though, and we are now a mid-table side and even finished above the likes of Lazio and Roma. Transfer budget is very limited for another summer as we have just over £4 million to spend, but obviously Colombo is a wanted man. But I would rather hold on to him for as long as possible. So diving into the transfer update for season number 3, Colombo is still here. We have had several players leave, 3 of them on free transfers. Strefeza, I'm admitting that didn't really work. He has departed for Sunderland for 800k. And we've been out and we've raided some of the English clubs for some of the players that they were releasing at the end of the season. Luizão comes in from West Ham. Obviously, he is a Brazilian. Centre-back looks relatively decent. Again, another left-footer to play on that side. We also picked up Mika Hamilton from Manchester City. His contract wasn't renewed. Can play in central midfield or in the cam spot if we need him to. Need to work on his finishing a little bit, but is a very good pickup on a free transfer. Brooke Norton, Cuffy comes in as a new fullback option for us on that right-hand side. Shola Shorter comes in. Again, another veteran from the Versailles save. After his contract was not renewed by Manchester United. Dane Scarlett is another one who comes in from Spurs. Again, looking like a decent option for us in that striker position. Then we have signed a new goalkeeper, ladies and gentlemen. Dennis Seaman comes in from Stuttgart. £4.2 million for this guy. If you've seen how this guy can develop in the game over the course of a long save, this is a great investment. Even if we sell him for a lot of money in a couple of seasons' time, it's very much worth getting this guy in your starting 11 and playing games. We paid £4.2 million for him. That could increase to 6, but I've seen him go for upwards of 60 in saves before. And then finally, we picked up Zeno van Halsden in the free transfer market as well. The Belgian international, yes, he's got 5 caps for Belgium, comes in 6'2", right-footed centre-back to really improve us in that position. But this is where we messed up, chat. This is where we messed up. I called you chat. This is what happens on a stream a lot. This is where we messed up, guys. We have many non-EU players, and obviously there is a restriction in terms of how many you can actually register in Italy, and obviously Brexit. Right, so all the English players that we signed, also along with the Brazilians, the guy from Panama last time around, mean we have some headaches. So Dane Scarlett doesn't make it. He is not in the squad. Neither is Shola Shorter. Everybody else has made it in. So it's going to be interesting to see what we can do with those guys. I'm sure they're going to get really unhappy with me, but we're going to have to see what we can do. If we quick pick without restriction our best 11, this is how we are set up, guys. Andor is still here. He wants a new deal. We will sort that for him now. But Van Halsen comes in alongside Cordoba. Very good centre-back partnership. I'm very happy with that. Mika Hamilton comes in as the Mazzala on this side. And we still have this trio up top. Andor, really staking his claim in that team now as our advanced playmaker. Competitions-wise, yet again, we have the same two, Coppa Italia and the Serie A. The board are expecting a mid-table finish for us this year in Serie A, and if we have a look, we are now 500 to 1, so they think that we've got a little bit worse than last season, or maybe the league's a little bit better, I don't know. Sassuolo and Lecce, two of the promoted teams, expected to do very, very well. I really want to start pushing up into the upper echelons of this division. I'd love to make a European competition, even if it's the Europa Conference League this time out. So let's get to simulating this season. I'll be back in just a sec. In Season 3, we failed to make a huge impact on the Coppa Italia yet again, seeing a quick exit in the second round, suffering a 2-1 defeat on the road to Fiorentina. But what we did do this year is really attack the Serie A, and we actually were rewarded with it, and we made some really good progress. We didn't start the season as well as last time, but we were picking up several impressive results against the likes of Bologna, Sassuolo, and Roma. Patrick Cutrone was the club's top goalscorer this time out, netting 23 goals in Serie A, and he was closely followed by Colombo, who added another 20 of his own. So as you can assume, we were lethal in front of goal this season and actually didn't fall off a cliff in the second half. We actually finished the season very strongly, completing the league double over the likes of Roma and Fiorentina in the process. That second half of the season performance saw us climb up into the European places and even snag a 6th place finish, meaning we will be playing in the Europa League in the 27-28 season. Thankfully, securing European football has meant that the board have put their hands in their pockets and given us a transfer budget of £15 million this summer, which should be enough to make sure that we don't embarrass ourselves in that Europa League. So big transfer news going into Season 4, and sadly we have lost some of our initial talent that we did have at the club. The biggest one of which is Lorenzo Colombo. He is now a Tottenham player. He has departed for Spurs for £38.5 million. Attribute wise, didn't really improve too much, but I will say in his 2 stints at Como, he was very prolific, averaging over a 7 in Serie A. In his first season, he got 26 goals in all competitions, 22 in the second season, so £38.5 million was paid by Spurs for him. He's capped it by Italy now at full international level, so a very good sell for us there. And even after just one season, Mika Hamilton has departed. He has gone to Al Ettifaq. He is over in Saudi Arabia now after just one season with us. They paid £7.5 million for him, so a free signing turning into £7.5 million, whilst almost having a very good season for us as well. Averaging just under a 7 is good money, well earned for the club. That enabled us to go on a little bit of a spending spree, and we picked up some good players of our own. Let's start on the most expensive ones. Desiree Doué is how I'm 100% butchering this man's team. He is going to be the Mika Hamilton replacement, coming in from Rennes, has the ability and the potential ability in saves to be very good this year. Good personality type, supremely well-rounded in some of these areas. I do need to work on his finishing, but also another natural in central midfield and in that central attacking midfield spot. He cost us £31.5 million. That is where a large portion of that money has gone. We also spent £22.5 million on this guy, Nathan Zeze. Obviously, we're very conscious of who we're signing now. We're going for European nations. No more British people. Brexit. Sad. 22 years of age, 6'3", capped by France at under 21 level, left-footed centre-back again, very good. Emmanuel Valeri comes in from Verona. He is a massive improvement in my eyes in that left-back spot. I love this guy since I did a Cremonese save last year. He is a very good left-back, and I'm really excited to have him in the team, supremely well-rounded. Also, 18 determination is massive to have in the team. We spent £1.4 million on Hugo Felix, another channel favourite, coming in again to play in that cam spot. Probably won't start ahead of Andor, but a very good pickup for us nonetheless, coming out of Benfica's famed academy. And another one, 525k on this guy, Rodrigo Perez, again out of Benfica's academy. More of a defensive midfielder option, better at tackling and defending, but can't really do as much going forward. But you need these guys in your team to have that balance. We also picked up Michy Batshuayi on a free transfer. Again, he's kind of lost all of his physical attributes, but as a rotation option for us as a striker, I think he has good experience, which is really nice. Rafa Mir comes in to be our Lorenzo Colombo replacement. 15 heading, good finishing on this guy as well. Nice physical attributes as well. Hopefully he can he can partner and complement Cutrone up front. He came in from Sevilla on a free transfer. I'm not even going to try and attempt to say this guy's name, but he looks very good as well. 6'6", 18 jumping reach, 18 strength, 15 heading. Gives us a very different dimension to what we have had previously up front, looking like a good player. And then finally, from Barcelona Athletic, Unai Hernandez. Again, central midfielder option, can play in 2 key positions for us. Right-footed, good left foot as well. Very decent physicals for a central midfielder. Lots of player traits which can make him a real threat, especially arrives late in opponent's area. It's a really nice one to have in your team. So if we go into the tactic and we quick pick without restriction our best 11, this is how we are set up right here, right now. Mir partners Cutrone up front. Doué comes into that midfield as well. And the defense, I'm really happy with Valeri and Zeze coming in. Obviously, with Van Housen and Koulibaly, definitely higher levels than I would expect. Also, Valeri at 3-star is utter BS. He is definitely so much better than that. Same as Rafa Mir. I'm expecting more from him this time around. Obviously, last season we finished in 6th in Serie A, meaning we do have Europa League football this year. So we are expecting to go into the league phase, and I just want to be competitive. If we can get into the knockout portion of the competition, I would consider that a success. Because of finishing higher up in the league, we go into the 3rd round of the Coppa Italia, which is basically as far as we've ever gone in the competition. And the board want another mid-table finish in Serie A. And if we have a look at that season preview, we are 350 to 1 now. We have improved since last season, but the board, the media still aren't really backing us to do anything, despite achieving a Europa League place last season. So lots more fixtures on the fixture list, on the schedule this season. Let's see how we get on in season number 4. And for season number 4, we are going to start in the Serie A because I really wanted to improve on last season's 6th place finish. It was a bit of a mixed start to the season, with us winning 4 and losing 3 of our first 7 games. But after that, we put together an outstanding run of fixtures in the league, going unbeaten for 17 games in Serie A, only dropping 4 points in 2 draws from the 51 points available. Summer signing Rafa Mir was incredible for us after arriving on a free transfer, scoring a huge 31 goals in 46 appearances in all competitions. Left back Emmanuel Valeri also transitioned to life in Como very well and provided us with an impressive 15 assists from that fullback position. I told you he was good. And our unbeaten run came to an end in February with a loss to Milan at the San Siro, but we suffered a little bit of a wobble to close out the season, but we did manage to get a 3rd place finish with a massive points return of 81 points. Yes, we are still 9 points behind AC, who won their 3rd league title in a row, but if you think about where the 2 teams started this save, it shows massive strides forward for Como. And given our improved position in the league last season, we entered the Coppa Italia in that 3rd round, which is actually the furthest that we've ever got in this competition. This season, we managed to beat Lecce at home 4-1 before facing Lazio in the quarterfinals. Lazio opened the scoring in this one through Luis Alberto, but we were able to pull level through Unai Hernandez. Lazio then took the lead again just before half-time, and we were handed a golden opportunity to take the game in all square, but Michy Batshuayi saw his penalty saved by a combination of Provedel and the post to keep the blue half of Rome in the lead. We pushed hard in the second half, but couldn't find a second goal to see our cut run come to an end at the quarter-final stages. Season 4 also saw us make our European football debut and had an outstanding league phase, going unbeaten throughout the 8 games, including a 7-1 hammer of Dortmund. Those results saw us finish 6th in the table with 18 points, sandwiched between Brentford and Manchester United. That placing meant that we moved automatically into the round of 16, where we faced FC Midtjylland from Denmark. This was an amazingly one-sided fixture for us, winning the game on the road 8-2 before continuing the mauling at home with another 4-2 win. It was French side Rennes up next in the quarterfinals, and we had to travel to France for the first leg. And it was the French side who took the lead in this one through Arnaud Kalimuendo, but Matteo Peratti was able to score to see us get back to Italy all square. Back in Como, Rafa Mir scored early to give us the lead in the tie, but Armin Guri was able to equalise with his shot that went in off the underside of the crossbar. However, with time slipping away, Patrick Cutrone cut ahead of his marker in the 89th minute and managed to beat the Rennes keeper at his near post to spark wild celebrations and send us into the semi-finals. We'd done well in this tournament to avoid all the English teams, and that luck ended here. as we were drawn alongside Manchester United. We gave a good go of the first leg at Old Trafford, even opening the scoring before Rasmus Højlund scored a goal in each half to give United the lead. But sadly for us, back in Italy is where we fell apart, with United being super clinical in front of goal, scoring 4 goals with 4 different goal scorers in a 4-1 win on the night, meaning a 6-2 win on aggregate. And with all that being said, it's still been a huge season for the club. A European semi-final, a domestic cup quarter-final, and a top 3 finish in Serie A. We will have Champions League football next season and have our largest transfer budget of the save so far, with £33 million to spend over our final summer. So guys, here we are, final transfer update in the final season. We had one major outgoing, which I was devastated with. Emanuel Valeri has departed the club again after just 1 season. Damak came in to buy him from Saudi Arabia. We paid £3.6 million for him. We sold him for 7. It is a profit, but it is a player that I am devastated to lose because I do really like him in this year's game. He averaged a 7.18 for us last season in Serie A, and now sadly he is over in Saudi Arabia and no longer with us. But we did go out and spend some money, as you would expect. The main addition is this man, Diego Coppola. He comes in from Verona. Was it from Verona or has he already moved? Yeah, he moved to Torino in this particular instance. He comes in to be our new main centre back. 24 years of age, supremely well-rounded as a defender, spirited personality, which is really nice as well. 6'4", big lad, big frame, good, nice, solid Italian centre-back for us to have at the club. £27.5 million he cost us there. We also signed this guy. We've got our Wonder Kid finder filter out, and we picked up Matteo Gargulo. Yeah, I've definitely got that wrong. He is a natural in both fullback positions. He's 6 foot, high work rate, high agility, good bravery as well. 19 years of age, coming out of Genoa, and he actually didn't cost us too much at all. £2.5 million. He will probably start a decent amount for us this season. Needs a little bit of work going forward for us, but defensively I think he can definitely do a job, and he's a natural on both feet, which is superb. We also got Samuel Militieri as a striker for us, obviously a former Italian youth international coming out of Lecce. Again, we need good rotation options up front, and he comes in on a free transfer. Premier League fans will remember this man. We picked up Wilfred Ndidi again on a free transfer. He was actually at Bologna in this world after moving from Leicester City. He'd been in Serie A for a decent amount of time, so we picked him up on a free transfer again to be that defensive midfield rock that we do need. 6 foot, high work rate, good tackling, good marking as well. And then the last player that we picked up, Gianluca Simeone, he comes in to be again another striker option for us. 17 on that bravery, 16 on that work rate. He is again another workhorse that we can have up front, because when you've got 2 players up front, you need that rotation. If we quick pick without restriction our best 11, this is how we are set up for the season going into our 5th and final season. We've got really good squad depth here, really nice numbers, real good rotation options as well. Very happy with how we are set up going into this year, which is good because we're going to play in new competitions for us this time around. We have the Champions League, we have the EA Sports FC Super Cup as well, where we will take on Inter Milan in the semi-finals. The boards still continue to only want a mid-table finish for us, and that is exactly where the media have us as well. Predicted to finish in 12th, 200 to 1, which is actually our best odds so far, and Xavi Alonso is now the Inter Milan manager after going through with Leverkusen for a decent amount of time, winning a Pokal, winning a Super Cup, all of that good stuff whilst there, and now he is Inter Milan manager, which is going to be really interesting. So we're going to simulate this 5th and final season. I'll see you for the results in just a sec. But guys, before we get into the results, I want you guys to let me know if you are still here watching the video at this point in time. He is a man on the coaching staff, so I just want you to comment down below, Cesc. He is the man on the coaching staff, potentially rumoured to be taking over as the full manager for Como going into Serie A once he's completed his badges. Let me know that you are still watching this video by commenting Cesc down below. Anyway, enough waffle from me. Let's get into the results of season number 5. Season 5 was one of debuts as we made our Italian Supercoppa debut when we took on Inter Milan at the semi-final stage. Summer signing Diego Coppola opened the scoring with a neat finish inside the area, but Lautaro Martinez then pulled Inter level on the stroke of half-time. Then with 9 9 minutes of the game to go, Matteo Peratti leapt highest at the far post to head us into the Supercoppa final. Here we faced last season's Serie A champions AC Milan, and despite going 2 goals up in this one, crumbled under the pressure from Milan, who forced the game into extra time and then continued to dominate in the extra 30 minutes to lift the trophy in Saudi Arabia. Yet again, I have no idea why these competitions are played in Saudi Arabia. I guess it's just for the money. Season 5 also saw us make our Champions League debut, where we rubbed shoulders with some of Europe's elite. Results were mixed, as you would expect in this competition, but we did manage to scrape together 9 points to finish 24th in the table and qualifying for the knockout stages of the competition with the final available slot. That meant that we had a playoff fixture to contend with, and we came up against Portuguese champions Porto. The first leg took place in Como, and we got off to a great start, scoring twice inside the opening 10 minutes. Rafa Mir then made it 3-0 at the start of the second half to give us a great lead, but we then kind of threw it away a bit, conceding twice in the final 5 minutes to reduce our lead to just a single goal. But then the game in Portugal was seemingly easier than I was expecting, with us scoring a goal in each half to move into the round of 16. This is where we faced Arsenal at this stage of the competition, and the first leg in Italy was an absolute barnstormer, with goals flying in left, right and centre. However, despite being great in front of goal ourselves, our goalkeeper Dennis Seaman had a bit of a stinker and conceded every single shot on target that Arsenal had to see the Gunners win the first leg 4-3. At the Emirates, we gave it a good go, but naturally the talent and experience level took charge of this one for Arsenal, winning the second leg 3-1 and the tie 7-4 on aggregate. And domestically, we had a good start to our Serie A campaign as we attempted to secure a top 4 finish for a second season in a row. Patrick Cutrone was back to being the club's top goal scorer, netting 27 times in all competitions, and has been a superb servant for the club. This season also saw Sharon Dorr come into his own after arriving from PSG 4 seasons ago and dominated for us in the midfield, providing 9 goals and 16 assists in all competitions, and attribute-wise looks like a very well-rounded player. Moving into 2029, we continued to look solid against the teams we should be competing against, but also lost to some of the country's largest sides. However, we did manage to close out the season with 69 points, which was good enough to secure a 3rd place finish for a second season in a row, largely thanks to the fall-off of Inter Milan, which actually did cost Xabi Alonso his job. And finally, we have the Coppa Italia, where we needed extra time to defeat Bologna in the 3rd round, and then penalties to knock out Inter at the quarter-final stage after a 2-2 draw. So that meant that we'd take on Juve over 2 legs in the semi-finals. We were at home for the first leg, but a very even game was settled by Federico Chiesa, who scored in the 96th minute of the game. And then in Turin, it was a similar story of a very tight fixture, settled by 1 goal for Juventus, this time with Moise Kean getting the all-important one on the 67th minute. This has been a really enjoyable save, and when you look at where the club is right now, it's shown so much amazing progression over 5 seasons, and this is where you can get the save yourselves. I post all my save files to all my rebuilds and tactics over on my Patreon. Links to that will be down in the description or in the pinned comment for this particular video. Head on over there and you can get that for you, and you can carry on this save as if you were Como manager, just where I've left it off. Or if you want to see more content like this, more rebuilds, check out this playlist popping up right here right now. It's all the rebuilds we've done on this year's game.